Have you ever opened a gift that made you feel truly special? Not just because of what was inside, but because of how beautifully it was packaged. In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn your homemade cookies and fudge into unforgettable gifts for your friends and family. For me, it's not just about the sweet treats. It's about creating those moments that reflect the thought and care that went into every detail. In this video, I'm excited to take you through how I make my homemade goodies look as amazing as they taste. Whether it's the holidays, a birthday, or just a little pick-me-up, I'm going to show you my favorite tips and tricks for packaging that will make your gifts stand out. So, grab your favorite recipes, maybe some of that classic fudge or those holiday cookies, and let's dive into creating something that's as beautiful as it is delicious. Welcome to my channel. Hi, I'm Arina. Here, I share my favorite tips and tricks to make your homemade treats look just as amazing as they taste. Straight from my home to yours. You'll find links to all the tools and materials I mention in the description below. Let's get started. I start my holiday gift prep a few months before Christmas, and trust me, it's the secret to keeping my sanity intact during the holiday madness. By preparing and freezing my cookies and fudge ahead of time, I can actually enjoy the season without turning into a stressed out holiday elf. As you can see, I'm unpacking a treasure trove of fudge flavors from my freezer that I made weeks ago, kind of like my own little Christmas miracle. If you're curious about the fudge recipes that made it to the freezer, you can find links to them in the description below. Let's start with the packaging. I've learned over the years that it's the little things that can make a big difference. The right packaging can set the tone and show just how much you care. First, I have to talk about metal tin boxes. These are my absolute favorite, especially around the holidays. They have that timeless, nostalgic feel that just makes a gift feel more special. I love using them for cookies and fudge because they keep everything fresh and look so festive. I'll show you how I layer my treats inside using parchment paper and dividers to keep everything neat and organized, just the way I like it. Then there are paper boxes, which I adore for more personalized gifts. These give you so much room to get creative. Whether it's a plain white box that I can dress up with a ribbon or a printed box that matches the occasion, paper boxes are perfect. I'll show you how I use parchment paper and cupcake liners to give my fudge that professional polished look that always impresses. And I can't forget about cellophane bags. These are my go-to when I'm in a pinch, but still want everything to look great. They're perfect for individually wrapping cookies or small pieces of fudge. I'll show you my little trick of sealing them up with a ribbon or twine for that final, personal touch that makes all the difference. When it comes to storing my fudge, I've got a system that keeps everything organized and fresh. I store the blocks of fudge, uncut, just as they were when I made them. After lining the baking sheet with parchment paper during the fudge making process, I leave the fudge in that same parchment paper liner when I wrap it up. Then I place the whole block into a freezer Ziploc bag. But here's the kicker. I always write the date and what's in the bag with a Sharpie, because let's be honest, frozen fudge can start to look suspiciously like other frozen treats after a month or two. I mean, who wants to defrost what they think is a brownie, only to discover it's a block of frozen soup? Or worse, find a forgotten block of fudge that's been chilling in the back of the freezer for years. This little trick saves me from any surprises and ensures I always know when it's time to enjoy that perfectly preserved fudge. When I'm ready to share my fudge, I take it out of the freezer and let it thaw in the refrigerator for a few days. I've learned that patience really pays off. Letting the fudge thaw slowly in the fridge helps it keep that creamy, melt-in-your-mouth texture that everyone loves. Once it's fully thawed, I cut it into perfect squares ready to be enjoyed. It's such a relief knowing that my fudge will taste just as delicious as the day I made it. And this little secret keeps my holiday season running smoothly and stress-free. When it comes to packaging food for gifting, I always make sure to wear disposable vinyl gloves. It's a little habit I've developed over the years, and I can't stress enough how important it is. Using gloves helps keep everything clean and sanitary, ensuring that the treats stay as fresh and pristine as when they were first made. Plus, it prevents any oils or residues from my hands from ending up on the goodies. For me, it's about showing that extra bit of care and attention to detail, which makes the gift feel even more special to the person receiving it. So before I start packaging, I always slip on those gloves. It's a simple step, but it makes a big difference. When I start packaging my holiday treats, I always lay the fudge down first as the base layer. It's like the foundation of a sweet little house. I've learned the hard way that fudge is heavier than cookies, so putting it at the bottom keeps everything from turning into a crumbly mess. Plus, I can't have my beautifully decorated cookies getting squished. I use plain white paper cupcake liners to separate each piece of fudge, making sure they stay neat and don't stick together. because no one wants a fudge avalanche. If you're curious about how I managed to cut my fudge into such perfect squares, I've got a little trick up my sleeve. Check out the link in the description where I show exactly how I do it. My mission is to cram as much variety of fudge and cookies into each box as possible, so everyone gets a little taste of all my holiday magic. One of my favorite moments is unpacking the cookies I've decorated with royal icing and stored in the freezer. These cookies are little works of art, each one carefully crafted and decorated ahead of time so that I can focus on enjoying the holiday season without the last-minute rush. Freezing them not only preserves their freshness, but also keeps the icing looking as perfect as the day I made them. Now, as I unwrap each cookie from its protective layer, I'm always thrilled to see how beautifully they've held up. The vibrant colors and intricate designs are just as crisp and detailed as when I first decorated them. It's like opening a box of treasures, and I can't help but feel a little proud of the effort that went into creating each one. Knowing that these cookies are ready to be shared with friends and family, looking just as good as they taste, makes all the preparation worth it. If you're curious about how I freeze and store these cookies to keep them looking perfect, I've got some tips for you in the description below. Decorating gingerbread and sugar cookies with royal icing is definitely a labor of love, and let me tell you, it takes some serious time and patience to get those intricate designs just right. Not only does it require a steady hand, but you also have to factor in the drying time. Royal icing can take up to 48 hours to dry completely. So, if you're up for the challenge and have the time, I've got my favorite recipe ready for you to dive into. Trust me, there's nothing quite like seeing those beautifully decorated cookies come to life. Now, if you're like me and sometimes find yourself staring at the clock, wondering where all the time went, I've got a little shortcut that will save the day. You can grab some store-bought cookies, dip them into melted chocolate and sprinkle on some nuts, crushed peppermint candies, or holiday sprinkles. Voila, you've just created something magical in a fraction of the time, and no one will be the wiser. I've got a recipe to guide you through this quick and easy process too. Another trick I've learned to speed things up is to skip the royal icing altogether and use melted chocolate to decorate your cutout cookies. It's quicker, less fussy, and still looks absolutely delicious. Plus, who doesn't love a little extra chocolate? If this sounds like your kind of decorating, I've got a recipe to show you exactly how to do it. Whether you're ready to tackle the royal icing and its 48-hour drying marathon, or prefer to take the faster, chocolatey route, there's a way for everyone to create holiday treats that look as amazing as they taste. When it comes to freezing cutout cookies, I've developed a system that really helps me stay organized and keep things running smoothly during the busy holiday season. There are a few different stages where you can freeze cookies, and each one offers its own advantages depending on what works best for your schedule. First off, I like to freeze the cookie dough itself. After mixing up a batch, I roll the dough into a flat disc, wrap it tightly in plastic wrap, and then place it in a freezer bag. Of course, I always label it with the date and what kind of dough it is, because let's face it, after a while, all those doughs start looking the same in the freezer. When I'm ready to bake, I just thaw the dough in the fridge overnight, roll it out, and I'm all set to start cutting out my favorite shapes. Another great option is to freeze the cookies after they've been cut out and baked, but before decorating. Once the cookies are fully cooled, I layer them between sheets of parchment paper in an airtight container. This keeps them nice and crisp, and they're ready for decorating whenever I find the time. I simply take them out of the freezer, let them thaw in the fridge overnight, and then I have a stash of perfectly baked cookies, just waiting for some icing and sprinkles. And for those times when I'm really ahead of the game, I even freeze fully decorated cookies. After the royal icing has dried completely, and I mean fully set, which takes about 48 hours, I carefully place the decorated cookies in a single layer in an airtight container, separating each layer with parchment paper. When I'm ready to share them, I thaw them in the fridge, and they look just as beautiful as the day I decorated them. So whether I'm freezing the dough, the baked cookies, or the fully decorated treats, this approach gives me the flexibility to spread out my holiday baking. It's my little way of making sure that when the holidays hit, I'm ready to go with delicious, beautifully decorated cookies without all the last-minute stress. As we wrap things up, I just want to share why packaging is so important to me. It's not just about wrapping up a treat, it's about showing that you care enough to make every detail special. Whether I'm giving a batch of pumpkin spice fudge or a few sugar cookies, the way I present it turns a simple gift into something truly memorable. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you're feeling inspired to get creative with your packaging. Remember, it's not just what's inside, it's the love and care you put into every detail that makes your gift truly special. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you'd like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And please, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your favorite ways to package homemade treats.